July 2nd, 1937. Somewhere above the vast Pacific Ocean, one of the world's most famous aviators was fighting a desperate battle against time. Fuel was running low, navigation had become uncertain, and radio communications were breaking down. Then, without warning, Amelia Earhart disappeared. No wreckage was found, no bodies were recovered, and despite decades of searching, the mystery remains unsolved. More than 80 years later, the disappearance of Amelia Earhart continues to fascinate historians, aviation experts, and treasure hunters around the world. What happened to the woman who dared to fly farther than almost anyone before her? Amelia Mary Earhart was born in Kansas in 1897. From an early age, she showed a determination and independence that set her apart. At a time when aviation was still in its infancy, Earhart became fascinated by flight. After taking her first airplane ride in 1920, she knew immediately that she wanted to become a pilot. She worked various jobs to pay for flying lessons and earned her pilot's license in 1923. This achievement made her one of the first women in the United States to receive an international pilot's license. But Amelia Earhart was not content with simply flying. She wanted to push the boundaries of what was possible. During the 1920s and 1930s, aviation captured the imagination of the world. Pilots were treated like explorers, venturing into unknown skies, much like sailors had once crossed uncharted oceans. Amelia quickly became one of aviation's brightest stars. In 1932, she achieved international fame by becoming the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. The flight was dangerous and exhausting. Mechanical problems, severe weather, and icing threatened the journey. Yet, she succeeded. The achievement made headlines around the world. To many people, Amelia Earhart represented courage, determination, and the belief that barriers could be broken. But her greatest challenge still lay ahead. By 1937, Earhart had set her sights on an extraordinary goal. She planned to fly around the world. The journey would cover approximately 47,000 kilometers and would be one of the longest flights ever attempted. Accompanying her was an experienced navigator named Fred Noonan. Noonan had extensive experience navigating long-distance flights across oceans and was considered one of the best in the world. Together, they departed in a Lockheed Electra aircraft, specially prepared for the journey. Over the following weeks, they crossed South America, Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and Australia. The flight attracted enormous public attention. Newspapers followed their progress closely. Millions of people waited eagerly for updates. As the journey continued, success seemed increasingly certain. By late June, Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan had completed most of their journey. Only one major obstacle remained: the Pacific Ocean. On July 2nd, 1937, they departed Lae in New Guinea. Their destination was Howland Island. The problem was that Howland Island was incredibly small. Located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, it measured only a few kilometers across. Finding it from the air was an enormous challenge, especially with the navigation technology available at the time. As the flight progressed, radio messages began to reveal growing concern. Communication difficulties emerged between Earhart's aircraft and the United States Coast Guard cutter Itasca, which was waiting near Howland Island. Signals were weak, messages were incomplete, and confusion developed regarding navigation. As the hours passed, the situation became increasingly serious. One transmission suggested that Earhart was unable to locate the island. Another indicated that fuel supplies were becoming dangerously low. One of her most famous final messages stated, "We are on the line 157337. The message referred to a navigational line that Earhart and Noonan were following while desperately searching for Howland Island. It was a sign that they were still looking, still hoping, still trying to find their destination. Then the radio fell silent. No further messages were ever received. Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan had vanished. News of the disappearance shocked the world. The United States government launched one of the largest and most expensive search operations ever conducted at that time. Ships spread across the Pacific. Aircraft searched thousands of square kilometers of ocean. Millions of dollars were spent. Yet nothing was found. No confirmed wreckage, no life raft, no sign of Amelia Earhart or Fred Noonan. After weeks of searching, the operation was called off. The mystery had only just begun. Over the decades, countless theories have attempted to explain what happened. The most widely accepted explanation is simple. Earhart and Noonan likely ran out of fuel while searching for Howland Island and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. Given the vastness and depth of the ocean, finding wreckage would be incredibly difficult. Others believe the aircraft may have reached a remote island. Some researchers suggest they landed on Nikumaroro Island, where various pieces of evidence have been discovered over the years. More dramatic theories claim that Earhart was captured by foreign forces or survived under a different identity. However, no conclusive evidence has ever proven these claims. Despite decades of investigation, the truth remains elusive. Although her final flight ended in mystery, Amelia Earhart's influence never disappeared. She inspired generations of pilots, she challenged expectations, and she proved that determination and courage could overcome barriers that many believed impossible. Today, schools, airports, museums, and aviation organizations continue to honor her memory. She remains one of the most recognizable figures in aviation history. Somewhere beneath the waters of the Pacific Ocean, the answer may still lie hidden. Perhaps one day, new discoveries will finally reveal what happened on that July morning in 1937. Until then, Amelia Earhart's disappearance remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. A story of courage, adventure, and a flight that never came home.